What up? Welcome to the official DoD Podcast.
Presents the official DoD Podcast. The only place where dads can be 100% correct 100% of the time. Don't tell your mother.
What up? Welcome to episode 12 of the official DoD Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoudtx. Here with me today, my co-host and Guardian Slayer himself, Nolxero. What's going on, buddy?
Drop the heroes, get with a zero. What's up, man? Doing good.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
You gotta
2 weeks in a row?
David. You gotta stick with that one.
It is 2 weeks in a row.
You're almost as bad as a space turtle.
Hey, just remember, when you drop the heroes and get with the zero, Nolxero is your hero.
Oh my goodness. How long did it take you to actually get that right?
He's got that written down.
Probably paid somebody to write that for him, honestly.
Well, the man that got carried by a bunny in Halo this week, the co-founder of Dads of Destiny, POPEBEAR. What's up, buddy?
I don't know if I got carried. More like I got shot, run over, backsmacked, grenaded.
I did watch Belle kill you.
She killed me so many times. But yeah, I'm doing great, man. I had a lot of fun doing the Bunny and the Bear show, and it was fun. It's Thursdays at 7 p.m. We were playing Halo CE, and it was just crazy seeing how good that game looks now remastered. So that was a ton of fun.
Well, at least that's one thing that actually works on that game is the campaign. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit later. The YouTuber and the man that made sure to tweet out his positive KD in the Iron Banner this week, so we could all actually see it, as POPEBEAR says, without pictures. There's no truth to it, and believe it or not, he made sure to tweet it out and let everybody know he got a positive KD. Mr. Hambone, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? And not only did I get a positive KD, if you look at the picture, nobody below me that I care about except for POPEBEAR. The almighty POPEBEAR is below me on the KD for a round, so that one was going up for sure.
He gets one game.
Okay, all right. So what happened the very next game, Brian? What happened the very next game?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Pope, of course. Yeah, he didn't tweet that one out,
no,
right?
he didn't.
Brian
He didn't
likes
tweet
to
out
live in the moment.
He didn't bring out my 3.5 before that or the 9.0 after that. But no.
Right, because, it's not about gloating. It's just about accepting your place on the leaderboard, which was second that game.
Yeah, so, because tweeting out a picture with you at the top isn't gloating at all.
Well, it was an informational
It's all right. No,
post.
you know what, Troy? It's okay. Give him his moment.
Yeah,
That's it.
One man that probably hears too much of his gloating, and the special guest that we actually have with us today, a member of the Dads of Destiny Savvy community, and maybe POPEBEAR's biggest fan, Mr. G Master, a.k.a. Gary. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, good evening, guys. I appreciate it, and I just want to clarify that I'm Pope's boss at work.
That's right. We brought the big guns in.
Oh my
goodness. Yeah. And the other thing I want to gloat about is I did have a high in Iron Banner as well. I believe in one of the games that I went my team went 0-12 in. I had a KD of like 0.38 or something.
There you go.
That's really good, Gary. That was a good game.
I'm getting better.
I thought you were going to share the moment where you actually killed me with your super.
I did kill Brian. Yeah, that was the moment.
Yeah, so Troy, Gary gets lagged out, right? So G Master gets lagged out, so he joins back into the game, and he's on the other side. Mm-hmm. We've been losing game after game after game, right? And
at this point, yeah.
At that point, and then Gary gets on the other team, and we won. That's the one game we won.
Because didn't we tell everybody last week if you're losing a lot of Iron Better to join us, and now you're telling me you lost like 12 in a row?
Well, it was
Wow.
just Brian and I.
Right.
You know, really.
And four guys that don't do too much PvP.
Yeah,
so.
we were just playing with guys for the fun of it. You know, we don't always have to win games like that, Troy.
Well, that's why we got you here, Gary, because we want you to balance out, you know,
Right.
balance out our skill levels over
Well,
here.
yeah,
So
I definitely learned my lesson. I sent the invite to Pope and Hambone, but I guess I should have sent it to Zero and TwoLoud.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Yeah, there you
come
go.
on.
he's learning real fast, isn't he, Nolxero? He's learning real
That's
fast.
right.
Absolutely.
Drop the
Gary can
arrows,
play
get
with
with the
you
zero.
guys later. Yes. Yes, he definitely learned his lesson. Good one.
Yes.
Well, G-Master, tell us a little bit about Savvy and your involvement, how you got involved in it, and a little bit maybe about what Dads of Destiny has done for you here playing Destiny.
Well, yes, I got started with Savvy back when I'm pretty good friends with Brian and Pope and another guy in Savvy and Freediver, and we played Battlefield together and started our little tiny Savvy clan in Battlefield. And once Destiny came out, of course, we all bought it, and of course, we continued the Savvy tradition, hooked ourselves up with DoD, and now Savvy's like 150 people following and 80 members in the clan, and just filled with a ton of great guys that I just absolutely love playing with. You know, the little time I get during the week, 3 or 4 hours a week that I get to play, it's just great never having a problem finding somebody.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I know a lot of people are jumping in these different communities. I know Savvy's a really big one underneath the Dads of Destiny Alliance that really has a lot of people that jump together and play together on a weekly basis. And I know you guys have even done the raid and some other different stuff together and really been able to experience a lot of it. And, you know, we always talk about, you know, we play probably way too much, but, you know, I know a lot of you guys also are just like you out there that play, you know, they get, you know, maybe 4 or 5 hours a week. And that's exactly what Dads of Destiny is for, is to, you know, fit everybody's time slots and community and hopefully have people that can jump on and play together as well. So that's awesome, man. I know you guys also have some shirts coming out here pretty soon for all your community members. Is that right?
Oh yeah, we have a guy in our clan, Mad Dog MDDG 424, that designed some like ridiculous shirts coming out. Savvy's kind of a throwback. It's a reference to Tombstone, and the shirts, the Savvy shirts have so little quotes from Tombstone that we're pulling out and just looking real nice. So those will be up for sale real quick.
Well, that's cool. So if you guys are part of Savvy, definitely keep your eyes open. Make sure you jump over the forums. Maybe if you haven't been there in a while, jump over there and keep your eyes open for what they got. Speaking of shirts, everybody that went to the new DoD Podcast website this week, thedodpodcast.com, thanks so much for coming by and checking it out. Hopefully you guys found some links to our YouTube and Twitch channel. You can have some more content there. And if you bought a shirt or a hoodie, thanks so much. And for your donations as well. We really appreciate it. Without you guys, you know, this wouldn't be possible. So thanks so much for doing that. Well, with that out of the way, let's gather our beverages of choice and let's get started with episode 12.
Bottles up, Guardians.
Please drink responsibly. Silly kids, drinking is for adults only. Don't drink and ride your Sparrow. Drinking has been known to increase your aim. Individual crucible results may vary. If you have a buzz lasting longer than 4 hours, contact the speaker immediately. No lawyers were harmed in the making of this disclaimer.
All right, so this week we got tons of feedback and suggestions on beers, and we will continue to do our best to give you our take on your favorites. So, just because we didn't try it this week doesn't mean we're not going to try it, so definitely keep sending those in. And I basically learned that this week our community is full of a bunch of beer-drinking fools, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got so many, and we really appreciate it. It was awesome. We got them in the feedback.dod@gmail.com email, and we also got them. I got a ton on Twitter. I know you guys saw those as well because you replied to them. But G-Master, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're drinking this week?
Yeah, I do. I've listened to all the shows, and so I know it's a tradition. So I had a beer in the fridge. I know it's a repeat, but I do live in the Bay Area, and I'm going with the Bay Area Classic. Out of Russian River Brewing, I'm drinking a Pliny the Elder. Woo-hoo. Funny thing about this particular bottle, though, is that it was supposed to be for Hambone and his brother.
That's right.
But he never came and picked it up, so now I'm enjoying it. And it tastes extra special. It tastes extra special knowing that it should have been Brian's, but now it's
it's fine. It's fine.
So,
there will be
when,
others.
when it's offered to you, Hambone, you better go get it because it is not staying in his fridge very long.
Right. And as we know, I'm jobless, so I should have been on my way over there, but I just couldn't justify the 20-minute trip. So I'm like, I'll just have to pass.
People drive hours for that beer, Brian. Hours.
That's true.
It's okay.
Is amazing.
Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Well, Pope, did you drive hours for what you're drinking this week? How long did it take you to find what you got?
Well, it didn't take me long at all. Actually, it was a recommendation from one of our community members, and they heard the podcast last week, and I was talking about a Lagunitas beer that I loved, and they said that I ought to try this a daytime ale. And so there's what I'm going to do, because I enjoyed that last one so much, is I'm going to go for a while here. I'm going to try their different brews, right? So today, I knew it was the right one to do because, Gary, G-Master, had suggested it as well. He said that literally if I liked a little something, that the daytime ale would be amazing, and it really is. So I want to thank SG Silky for his recommendation, and also here Peterson here, Gary, and
we got tons of Lagunitas suggestions this week, didn't we?
Yeah,
I mean, they were coming through.
It's really showing through as a real favorite for a lot of our community.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to see if I can find that down here in Texas. I hope I can, because
I've been to over 100 breweries here in California, and that brewery, just the ambiance and atmosphere of that brewery combined with the fantastic beers is really on the top, towards the top of the list.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, what about you, Nolxero? What do you got over there?
Just like I said last week, I have the Rar Blonde, and I like it. It's really good. I think I'm a little more towards the Hoegaarden, but this one's really good. I like it, and so far so good as far as any kind of reaction.
Ooh, no reaction. That's
no reaction yet. Well, what about you, Hambone? What do you have, like a 40 over there today, or what you got?
Oh man, you know how we do. No, but I did not get a beer today.
Obviously, we don't know how you do.
Apparently not. You don't know. I left out of the beer family and I went to the rye family. So, boom, there it is. Got some bullets. Got some good old bullet rye, and this is on point. 95 proof. This stuff will lay you out. So I'm just having a little glass over here with a couple cubes of ice, no chasers or mixers.
Do you ever drink anything that's not on point? That's what I want to know.
No. If I'm drinking it better be on point, and it's going to be on the budget. This particular bottle here is less than $25 at most of the places that I've seen. So this will go on Hambone's quality cheap buys of the week. So I'll be posting a picture on Twitter so everybody can take a look at that. But this stuff is on point.
Hey, Hambone, I'm just glad that this week the beverage you're drinking on the bottles is listed in ounces and not by the quart.
Yeah, G-Master made a point of letting me know that anytime you drink a beer or any beverage that's listed in quarts, it is not meant for one sitting. And I was unaware of that because last week I had that Mississippi mud and I took that baby down. It took an hour.
You also don't need a brown paper bag on it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have fit in any kind of brown paper bag.
Well, I am actually drinking the one and only, which is what it says on the bottle, Newcastle Brown Ale.
Boom!
So
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have ever had this. This is actually my first time. I have a lot of friends here in the DFW area that swear by this.
Very.
So I'm going to be enjoying this throughout the show.
Is it on point?
It's on point, bro. It is. It's on point. It's imported from England. So for all of our friends across the pond there, I have something, I guess, that's coming from your side of the world. So a little bit of Newcastle Brown Ale. So,
Too Loud, let me ask you real quick before we move on. Are you going to be drinking that at the end of the day? Will you be drinking that beer tomorrow?
Ooh.
No, I won't be drinking this beer tomorrow. If you're implying babysitting, no, I will not be babysitting it. I will be drinking it as we play. So,
all right, fine.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Well, speak of babysitting, I don't want to be doing that with you tonight, Pope, but I probably will be as I take you through the Iron Banner. But this week there was a lot of Iron Banner talk, and it came back on point, I guess, as Hambone would say.
Oh, it's on point.
It is on point. It feels really good. I don't know about you guys, but Hambone, tell me a little bit about your experience besides, tweeting out your pictures of how well you did in one game. How were the other games that you played?
Well, here's the thing. There's still a lot of stuff that makes Iron Banner completely different to me than the Crucible, and the one big thing is the team. It really does depend on who's on your team and if everybody's communicating well. And then even on top of that, what type of guns they're shooting. Because on the other team, you could have 26s in there, but if they have, say, a last word fully upgraded, they're still able to take you out. Maybe not as quick as you can, but they're comparable. So it's important to have a high-level team. If you went in with all 30s, everybody with 300 guns and competent players, I think you could really dominate for a long time.
Yeah, I'd say the thing that I've seen the most change in this time around on the Iron Banner, and feel free to jump in here, Pope or Nolxero, but I've seen a lot more teams or a lot more competent players actually playing this time around. And I don't know if it's because the game's had more time for people to upgrade their weapons and their armor, but it just seems like that the level of talent or skill has been risen quite a bit on this time around. What do you think about that, Pope?
I think that one of the things that they did in the update, which I think has made a lot of people happy, is they matched up. One of the characteristics of it is if you go in with 4 or more players, it's going to match you up with 4 or more players. If you're under 4, it's not going to match you up with teams that have 4 or more players. So I think one of the things that you're seeing is that we're going in as a team or as a group, usually no less than 4, and we're matching up against other teams. And I think fundamentally that's the biggest difference, is that we get other groupings of teams to play against.
Right.
But also the level of guys is higher. I don't think the average guy that isn't into PvP is going to jump into the Iron Banner. I think that they're just going to stay out. And I found that when we came in with Freediver and G Master here, they were willing to try it out, and I don't leave it up to them. What did you guys think of it?
Well, I mean, I got my ass handed to me over again, but it didn't matter. Just playing the game and being with a bunch of savvy guys and a bunch of DoD guys just made the experience fun, and I imagine that next time it comes around, I'm going to be better because I'm going to practice PvP. I've never been. That was my second time doing PvP, so I'm always a PvE guy. But I'm going to build it into my weekly time now, at least 30 minutes or an hour a week to improve and get ready for the next one for sure.
So you've had the game since launch, right, G Master? And so this is just the second time you've played PvP.
That is correct. I didn't do Iron Banner the first time. I jumped in the Crucible one time before that. I have had the game since launch, played the alpha, the beta, and I've just all been PvE. But
I think you speak on behalf of a lot of DoD dads. I mean, I think that a lot of people, believe it or not, I think in the community, like I said before, we play a lot, but I think a lot of the Dad of Destiny members, they're like you. They don't get to play PvP a lot, and when they do play the game, they jump in there with friends and play a lot of PvE. So that's why I think it's really cool that you even had the option to jump in and play with some other people that maybe playing PvP more. So hopefully it makes the experience a little better if you do find those dads. And once again, that's Dads of Destiny at its best, right? Is diversifying the different people that you can run in and play with. So
yeah,
absolutely.
My biggest gripe with the Iron Banner this round was that the medallions don't seem to do enough, because they give you 5, but they really didn't take into consideration losing more than 5 games, and we were on the joyful receiving end of that last night. What do you think, Pope? We played 10, 12 games of
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's not admitting it. He's not, but
I think that's I was gonna say, I think that's more for a rallying call. It's like, hey, dude, we've got 5 medallions. We got to pull it together now. We have to do this. Otherwise, we're just playing for nothing.
I don't think they could give you that, though. I think if they gave you, 10 medallions, it's kind of cutting the people that are winning cutting them short. Like they said, the medallions almost equal a win. So what would be the point if they just gave you a medallion for every time you lost, and then all of a sudden you go and win a game?
Points
Yeah,
for
I mean,
everything.
I guess, but there was still a little bit of quitting, not nearly as much as there was the first time. So they definitely are working as intended because a lot more people stay till the end. But at the same time, I know that, sitting there for 2-3 hours and not necessarily being able to cash those in or get anything from them was kind of frustrating. But we'll have to see how it unravels.
Sorry.
Well, Nolxero, I got a quick question before we move off of the Iron Banner talk and on to the update for this week. I want your opinion of, we've seen the Iron Banner come, 2 or 3 times now. Do you think this should be something that's there all the time, or do you like how it's coming in and out?
I think it should be there more often or all the time, because I feel like Iron Banner's kind of like their ranked play. And since they don't have a ranked playlist, this is the closest thing to that. And I got to admit, my Destiny time's been very, very low. And so when the Iron Banner, me and you jumped on the other day, and we were playing for a couple hours before we went to work, and I actually stayed on. I was having a lot of fun playing the Iron Banner, and I thought that the changes were really good. I was playing on 26 Titan with an unupgraded Suros by... that's on purpose. I bought a second one and didn't upgrade it on purpose. And then I also was running my Hawkmoon. And both of those, overall, I think the changes are amazing. I'm like, this is night and day compared to the last Iron Banner. And I think I'd love for it to stay around more often, because that's what I want to play.
Yeah, I think it's it's to Bungie's benefit that that Halo actually hasn't worked in matchmaking, because I know I would be pushing Pope and Nolxero both over there to play a little bit more Halo with me if we could actually get into a game. And now that the Iron Banner's jumped over right now, that's what I'm gonna play. I know when we get done with this podcast, that's what I'm gonna go play, some Iron Banner. So
yep.
I wish that they had, if they don't keep this around, I hope they bring something eventually that is a more competitive PvP option for everybody out there. And I think for people like you, G Master, that want to play PvP and get better at it, if they take it in and out, it's going to be hard for you to kind of really get a feel for how the Iron Banner works. You can go play the Crucible if you wanted to, but the Iron Banner and really filling out a more competitive scene, it'd be harder for you to do, don't you think?
Well, absolutely. I don't. That's what I hear. Obviously, I have no idea, but I just need to learn the maps and learn the team play and learn the choke points and where to go and playing with the guys that we know. It helps me learn that. But at this point, after last night, I actually am excited to get my raid and my nightfall in and my weekly, and then once I'm done with that, instead of going to farm for an hour, I'm going to go jump into PvP and learn and get better.
All right.
Just follow Pope around, right? That's all you got to do. Just follow him around.
That is a good plan.
Pope can play. Pope is really good. I will admit this. Pope is really good at keep so and so alive. He's really good at that. If you tell him we're going to play keep G Master alive, he's pretty good at doing that one.
He tried his best, but that was a tough task for him. But he did his best.
Well, like I said, obviously we also got an update this week, and it was a big one. Almost 2 gigs of data this week. So obviously a lot of this stuff I think is getting in place for the upcoming expansion. But let's go ahead and run down, some of the things that Deej kind of uncovered that was in this update for us this week. Like I said, tons and tons and tons of stuff. And he basically starts it off with the Sparrow. So I don't know if you guys picked up your Sparrow or not, but the Sparrow that we got this week was actually called the EV30. And you got this Sparrow, from my understanding, you got it from actually either having the Destiny Ghost Edition, the Destiny Limited Edition, the Destiny Digital Guardian Edition, the Destiny, or having an expansion pass or season pass, some would say, for the Dark Below. So if you had that, you got this in the mail. And I was at first I was on Twitter before I went on and grabbed this on Tuesday, and everybody was tweeting this. I was like, man, I don't have that. I didn't get it. And then I forgot that was the day they updated. So when I jumped on and I went inside, I actually saw that I had it, and I was super excited. But I know, Nolxero, you still haven't got yours. Is that correct?
Yep, not a single one. I've checked all 3 of my characters. There's no EV whatever for me.
Oh, it's so fun.
I guess Bungie decided that no tricking for Zero.
But did you put the code in? There's a code that you got with
I have done that. I went in, I looked, I had I had 5 different add-ons on Destiny, and I also did refreshed my licenses to make sure everything was there and good, and yeah, no mail for me.
Well, you're obviously not their hero. Okay, at the end of the day,
They got to drop the heroes, bro. They have to drop the heroes and give it to Zero.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
Well, G-Master, you got it, didn't you? You got your Sparrow. What'd you think about it?
Oh my god! Just the smallest, stupidest little thing just made this game so much fun. I don't know, just dumb stuff like this could have been in from the very beginning. It's just different, which makes it great.
Oh man, I agree. I think it would be so cool if they keep, popping out things like this. I think it would be cool to be able to create your own Sparrow. Obviously we see the detail and the flames, and this is for those of you that don't have it or haven't picked it up yet. It's basically like a royal blue Sparrow with like these orange flames on it, and it looks awesome, and it actually maneuvers very well and drives very well. So I know there's been people that have been. Yeah, it looks like something out of Transformers for sure. And, I know people have been putting up YouTube videos of them doing back rolls and flips and everything else. So, it is a lot of fun, So hopefully if you guys don't have a season pass, I don't know if you can still pick it up if you grab a season pass or not, or the expansion. But
yeah, the Sparrow comes early for those who do, right?
Okay.
And it becomes part of the download if you get the expansion or any of the other editions.
So those that maybe grab the expansion right when it comes out, they'll get it, but they only get it at that time.
Right.
Okay. Cool. So it's just a little. Yeah, you'll get one eventually. Maybe you won't. Maybe they just don't like you. But tell me a little bit about this damage output curve. Do you know anything about this, Nolxero? Can you tell me about this damage output curve that they got over here for the Banner 2.0?
Yeah, I was reading about this, and from what it looks like, is they're trying to explain how damage the modifiers work for levels, and it's really cool that they brought this out, because besides the fact that most companies don't mention this kind of stuff, the behind-the-scenes damage and all that, this, if you really take time to read it and look at it, it breaks down like what, level 5 and, ramping up what the, level 30 is going to be putting out and where the damage is going to be. And so it's really cool that they put this out. The graph isn't super specific, but you can guess between, 0.0 to 1.0. And you look to the right where you have they're basically saying like a base damage of 10, or the level 10's over here, and you have the level 5. It shows across the board like, hey, if you're up here, you're going to get this kind of damage multiplier versus being down here towards the level 5 level, whatever the lower levels you are. This is what damage you're going to be getting. So it's really cool to see how they're showing the curve and how they're actually giving us that information, because a lot of times that comes from people guessing, trying stuff, and then guessing some more, and then trying stuff, and then getting a rough estimate of like, hey, these are how the numbers are working.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, and for those that haven't checked out the update on Bungie.net, there's a little, I guess, graph as Nolxero referenced that they put on there that basically shows, if you have a difference of 10 levels, the damage multiplier is like 0, and as if you have 5 levels difference, it's like 0.5 per se, and so there's obviously a difference, and it's it's cool to see that obviously they're paying a lot of attention to this as well, so that people can understand. The more, I guess you could say, the more avid or hardcore players can really understand kind of what's going on behind the scenes, like you said. So I know one of the other things that he goes on to tell us about in update 1.0.3, which is the big one that happened, is about what he titles Exotic Chaos Theory. So, Hambone, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, basically, there were some guns that through this patch ended up getting accidentally nerfed. Some of the exotics, the one that I know everybody was raving about was Thorn, and it has the damage over time multiplier that you get as one of the skills inside the skill tree. And apparently it wasn't doing as much damage as it should have been. Even it was already too little to begin with, but they dropped it down accidentally even further. So he basically details that and then teases that soon the thorn will be restored to its former glory and then some. For so long, I've been waiting for this gun to get
I've been
some
holding
kind of
on,
buff.
and it's been using a space in my inventory for way too long.
You and me both, man.
Well, it's restored to its former glory. There was really no glory before. You know, the most important part there, I think, is and then some.
And
right?
then some, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the difference for those of you out there that don't have this pistol yet, basically the difference in this that is every other exotic pistol out there is that Thorn is really short clip. It's like what, 4 bullets, 6 bullets? So it's 6. It's 6 in the chamber, and most of the other exotics, even the higher legendary ones, are like 11 and 12.
Right.
And not only that, Thorn takes forever to reload.
Oh my goodness.
And so it's super, super painful to use, especially if you have any other hand cannon. And I think it's probably done worse for the hand cannon category than any other hand cannon, because if this is the only hand cannon you got, you hate hand cannons.
Right.
So
exactly.
That's for those of you out there that don't have it, like I said, that's a little bit about what's going on the backstory of that. I know that some of the other things that they put in here on this update were, they tease some more, I guess, exotics on some of the Grimoire cards. And really, man, they look really cool. I know they have the super good advice, right? We haven't seen that yet. Is that correct?
No,
No, it's in.
I got it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. You already have it. Okay, cool. So are these the ones that they show in here? Are these the ones that took?
No, these are the ones that are going to be getting the buff. Forever they've been teasing that some of these exotics don't perform as exotics should. So here in this picture, from what I'm assuming, all of these things will be receiving a buff.
I'm a little concerned about Pocket Infinity receiving a buff.
Right, like what does it need? I mean, it's already pretty incredible, and they nerfed it just a couple weeks ago when they took the enhanced battery perk away. So I'm not sure what now they're going to do to it 2 weeks later, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on this list.
So
you
we
would
got
have to be excited about Bad Juju.
I'm
We got what,
super
super good
excited about
advice?
Bad Juju.
Yeah, we got what? Super good advice, Red Death, Pocket Infinity, Thorn, the Suros Regime, the Vex Mytho class, and Bad Juju. Now, what are they going to do to? Are these just going to be buffs? Or are these also nerfs that they're talking about? Are these just guns they're working on from both sides, or is this just buffs alone? Because if they're buffing the Suros, there's going to be a lot of mad people about that.
Right. I'm not sure if they're going to be nerfing and buffing.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird that the Suros is on there if it's a buff, if this is a picture of what they're buffing, because Suros is one of the favorites in PvP, and I can't imagine what they would want to buff about it.
Right. Maybe the firing rate?
But
I'm not
that
sure
just
what
makes
they
it. That's why I bought an upgraded Suros. And to me, if you take all the perks of having a fully upgraded Suros and then you up the fire rate, it's like, well, now you've just made it the best PvP gun, and you've just solidified the fact that it's the best PvP gun.
Right. So it just a little bit further of the reading. It's not necessarily saying that all these things are buff. It's just mentioning that some kind of tweak is coming to these guns, because it just says we'll be shuffling the cards before the Dark Below, and then there are all these pictures. So some of these things might be nerfs as well as buffs.
Okay.
Huh. Well, that'll definitely
Confusing.
be interesting to see.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. I don't know about you, Gary, but do you happen to have any of these exotics yet? In any of these listed here?
I do have a few. I have the Suros. I'm about halfway through it. I stopped upgrading it once I got the Vision of Confluence. I'm working on that for the raids that I'm doing once a week with my character. So
The Confluence is really good at PvP, Gary.
Yeah, it is, especially with that auto fire and that great stability.
The Vision of Confluence.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Last night I tried it for a few rounds, and I'm not at the point where I'm like tracking guys at a good enough rate to put like 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds into them as they're moving, ducking, diving, jumping, sliding. I just don't get the rounds onto my target. So I was having more success with like the Monte Carlo or a shotgun or just something kind of easier to get more bullets on the guy.
Right. Well, so you have the Suros. Do you happen to have any of the other ones here listed on this list?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Well, obviously, I wonder how many people actually have these, and it's going to affect, and how many people are sitting out there with these, like Pope in their inventory catalogs, as I would say. Pope has quite a catalog of exotics over there. Pope, are you looking forward to all these getting any, I guess, buffs per se?
Yeah, I mean, I kept them for that reason. Most of the guns I use on a daily basis are legendary guns. I can't say that I use the exotics all that often. I think, except for the Suros regime, there aren't very many exotics that I use on a regular basis. Suros regime and Icebreaker are my go-to exotics. But other than that, I'm running a legendary pistol or not even the Hawkmoon. I rather the Fatebringer over that one. But anyway, so that's just my personal preference. And then, but I am excited about the Vex Mytho class getting an upgrade for PvE. I'm really excited that it's going to get its place in the next in the Dark Below, and that it will once again be a good gun. It should be. It was hard to get, and it really should be a good gun again. So I'm excited about that.
I think whenever they nerf that gun, a lot of people complained about, why is it getting such a big nerf? And then, they were saying, oh, we're going to make it better in PvE again. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they do with it. I hope they make it better. Even though I don't have it yet, I would really like it. And when I finally get it, I want it to be amazing. So, well, on the strike, the last section I think he has here basically is a section called the Strike Strikes Back. So tell us a little bit about that, Pope, about the Strike Strikes Back.
Well, I think that I think it was kind of an issue for me because I actually preferred to do the weekly and nightfall by myself because it was easier to do solo than it was to do with teammates. And I think that went against the ethos of what Bungie wanted to do with this game. They wanted you to play with your friends. So if they made it so that every friend that you played with created a damage multiplier, so not damage, but a defense multiplier, the enemies were harder to kill by a lot. So, upwards up to 300% when it came to, I think it was up to 300% with 3 people. I'm not sure the exact multipliers, but it came to a point where you didn't really want to run 3 people in a strike because it was just that much harder. So, I think this is good. They're setting it up so that what they're doing is they've made a couple changes. They've tuned the damage to be a little easier overall so that we'd see higher survival rates in 3-player fire teams. But then they also made it a little more difficult by doing so for a single player. So they really are encouraging you to run 3 players into a strike.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, I think that's the biggest thing is they intended this game to be played with friends, and anything that discourages playing with people, they want to make sure they take that away. So, I understand making it a little more difficult. Go ahead, Gary.
I was just going to say that, I mean, like I said earlier, I get 3 or 4 hours a week on this game, and I don't want to play by myself. So the fact that I can jump in with, friends and people in the group and get through something a little bit easier just makes me want to play more. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and it's never fun to jump in and then have a harder time when you have people in your party than if you were by yourself.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Obviously, I understand they want to make them a little bit harder, but doubling or tripling the difficulty just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So, once again, there they go again with another week. They're looking at even the small things and the things that maybe we could say we're dealing with in the game and trying to improve them. So, well, let's go ahead and jump over to what's that on your screen.
blood.
Dad! What is that on your screen? Wait, is that a new game?
All right, so obviously this is our new section, guys. If you've listened for the past couple weeks, called "What's That on Your Screen?" We talk about a little bit about the other games that we're playing and maybe what else is going on in the gaming industry at the time. And we've been playing, I know, a mix of Call of Duty in this group and Halo. So, David, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what's going on with COD this week?
Well, COD hasn't really changed much. They had the update that changed that. It looks like PSN is on dedicated servers. I can't confirm that for Xbox. Every game I get into has, full bars. So everything seems to be running a lot smoother on that side, and it's funner that way because funner. That's a great word. Anyways, it's better that way because it allows you to not have to worry so much like, oh, dude, I'm shooting, and it's not showing me even shooting the kill cam. It's kind of leveling things out for everybody to play. And it's nice. I commend them for the upgrade. It's COD.
Yeah, I mean, do you still see a lot of people going over? Or are you running into more people from Dads of Destiny, or how's that going?
I've run into some. I got an invite from a gentleman that something happened to his desk, or not his Destiny disc, but his Call of Duty disc, and so he invited me to a Dad's Clan, and I had originally started one, but then I realized that most of y'all weren't going to be playing. So I told him I'd be more than happy to join his clan and play, some clan matches with them. And so we're seeing how that goes. But I'm waiting for him. He, like I said, something happened to his disc. It got messed up, and he has to wait till Christmas to get a new one.
Oh, man, that's horrible.
Yeah, but I am seeing Dads trickle over and, kind of break up Destiny, I think, and enjoy some Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like you said, maybe break up the monotony that they've been in. Hopefully, like the Iron Banner this week has broken that up a little bit, and obviously, I think whenever we see the expansion comes out, a lot of people will be jumping back over on the Destiny bandwagon for a little while. What about you, Pope? I know you've been playing quite a bit of Halo this week, and maybe not playing so much as testing your stream action through there. For those of you out there that don't know, Pope is handling all the Twitch stuff for the DoD podcast. And I know he's had some very frustrating nights when, those times when electronics should work, but they decide not to work. And, it's the small thing that's like, oh, I forgot to click this small freaking button or whatever it be. So, Pope, tell us a little bit about your week, man, and maybe some Halo that you got to play.
Well, it's more like almost 2 weeks now, but this week has been the most frustrating, I think. But I didn't want to just stream from the console itself. I wanted to get a computer up and running and pull a stream off of that. So it was really challenging getting the in-game chat audio off of an Xbox. And I think that's a major fail on their part, is being able to pull the in-game chat audio. There's all these crazy workarounds that people are posting on the internet. Some work, some don't. And the most consistent I found is to use a Skype call, and then pull the Skype call into post-recording editing software and kind of marry them together. It's all very frustrating. I think that Microsoft could do themselves a lot of good by giving people a way of blending the in-game chat audio and not just keeping it separate like they're doing. But
as much as I'm loving Halo, and our history with the Xbox, I have to say they're probably too busy creating TV functions to think about a chat function.
That's the thing is, and I'm like, this is a simple thing, and I don't understand why they wouldn't allow it. Now, as far as playing the game, it was really exciting to jump back in and play Halo. I was blown away by the mechanics are just as good now as they were back then, and I'm really enjoying the Master Chief Collection. I am back in. It's like a flashback to the good old days, and so it's been a lot of fun. And I haven't played as much as I've wanted to. They just recently put out a full huge patch. It was yesterday or the day before. I believe it was yesterday.
Which would have been the 21st for everybody.
Right. And Thursday, right? So then that patch was supposed to have fixed multiplayer. So
failed.
It did.
That's a perfect segue into the next point because it failed.
It did it.
In fact, I was reading Twitter right before we jumped on, and they once again put out another update, and they're like, So we know a lot of people aren't seeing the changes, so we're going to basically try again.
Right.
Which, dude, this to me is just, we talked a little bit about it last week, but it just, to continually drag it on from week to week and give us an opportunity, if we have an opportunity to talk about how bad the matchmaking system is, almost for what, it'll be going on 3 weeks next week, right? It'll be the third week of the launch, and I mean, I know that, Nolxero said he saw people like posting, that they were selling their game and trading it back in and all that stuff. And I think it's a huge, huge black eye for Microsoft right now. And I think they had an opportunity to really take some jumps forward. And I think, they probably still do. And they probably did take some jumps forward, but I don't think it's as far as they would have hoped or they could have done. And, I know, hopefully, let's pray to God. I know that the Halo 5 beta team or whatever, Halo 5 team is way different it's a totally different team than the team that worked on the Master Chief Collection. So hopefully they have their stuff together for the beta that comes out in December. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. But G-Master, obviously you're not playing any other games at this point, right? I mean, you're not even thinking about any other games.
I don't have time to play other games. No, not even close. But question, how could they not know? Like, how could this happen from a major?
Right.
I'm a very casual gamer, so I really don't know what's going on. But of course, I see all the articles and YouTubes and articles on every Yahoo and game sites that are just complaining about this component of the game, and it baffles me. How could they not know?
I don't know. I mean, I think I heard a discussion on the podcast this week that they were talking about same thing. How did it happen? Because they played this game at a tournament the weekend before it launched. They didn't have any matchmaking issues that they told anybody about, and come to find out they had a few, but they were actually playing a build that was the previous build to the final game. So, that's one thing that's actually kind of odd. So it makes you think, did they know there was an issue and they pushed it out or what? But I can't imagine that they would push it out knowing that there was this big of an issue. But, when they do these test communities and they do these test things, a lot of times they're in controlled environments. And in this case, it wasn't. So when that's one benefit to a lot of people that have been doing over the past few years. We see a lot of betas, right? I mean, we saw Bungie do it, and we saw Gears of War do it a few years ago. Even the love and in the heart of Hambone over here, Battlefield, they do it. So
Battlefield,
but they had an absolutely atrocious launch. So when you say you don't understand how it could happen, I do, because money is the root of all evil, we know. And I'm telling you, man, EA did the same thing. They knew that game, that Battlefield, was a train wreck, and they released it anyway. And
did they know it was a train wreck?
Oh, they knew. They knew.
Because my point would be is you may think that it's not. Like I brought this point to TwoLoud the other day, was look at Blizzard. They brought out Diablo 3, and that was a train wreck. Look at EA when they brought out SimCity. That was a train wreck.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
We're going to push SimCity aside. I know I brought it up, but so looking at Blizzard, that's all they do is games that are connected to a server. They have Diablo, they have World of Warcraft, they have Warcraft, they have StarCraft. All that's server-based. So for them to put out a game, it can happen to anybody. So it's right. I don't know. I would think you would get that stuff right, but I don't know. Obviously, it's harder than we think.
I guess so.
Obviously, I mean, what was the first beta we saw on the Halo side was for Reach, right? I mean, I don't remember a beta on the Halo side before that, and Bungie really did a pretty good job at launching those games every time. I
think Halo 3 had a beta.
Okay, actually, it did. It was in
Crackdown's Crackdown.
Man, that was a long time ago. But we always saw them launch pretty well, and I think for me, and I didn't play Battlefield, so it didn't matter to me that game blew. But,
hey.
It doesn't now.
Yeah, oh, it doesn't
but-
now, man. I'll be playing it this week. I'm actually going to jump back on.
Well,
They have
I
their
hope that
last
I
DLC.
don't have to pick up Halo Master Chief Collection in a year and say, oh, well, now it doesn't suck. Okay, because
Right.
I won't be playing it at that time if that's the
Right.
case. I mean, that's just the reality. And so, it's obviously depressing. I know a bunch of the guys in DoD and some of my friends over at Xbox are like, hey, you going to come over and play? And, the update's out, and then it's like, I get all these texts. It's like, oh, never mind, it's not working still. So, I mean, I even tweeted out yesterday, hey, does anybody know if this worked? And nobody answered me back because it wasn't working for anybody.
Right.
So, it is crazy that they can launch such a large title. And I think, something that was such a staple of the Xbox and have this big problem. So, I bet Phil Spencer has probably lost a lot of hair to this point, and he should, because this is it is worrisome to go into the Christmas season where you're a week away, right, from Black Friday, basically, where a lot of sales will happen, and people are debating, hey, this is what I want, or this is what this is what I should get, especially in the gaming industry, because I mean it's a huge time of the year for sales. So. We'll see what happens. I mean, I really hope that they get it fixed, and they get it fixed really fast, because I just want to play some Halo, Pope. I just want to go in there. I want to play some Halo 2 Anniversary and just whoop some kids. You know what I mean? And feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game that I've been excited for. It's a game I bought the Xbox One again. I mean, I bought an Xbox originally to play Halo, and and subsequent Xboxes for that same reason. And for it, I'm enjoying the campaign. I'm honestly enjoying the campaign, and I'm going to play the CE through Halo 4, and I'm really excited about that. So there's that, but the multiplayer really has gravitated all of us to it, and then it's really frustrating that it's not working.
Well, with the frustration out of the way, let's get some laughs. And Hambone, why don't you go ahead and take us into stories from the tower? All right, Hambone, as I said, obviously we've expressed a lot of frustration this time around, but I'm ready to laugh a little bit. So why don't you give me some laughter here from some stories in the community?
Absolutely. Well, this week we posted on the Bungie.net forums a topic for you guys to respond to. And unlike the week before, this one really, really took off. We had a good 39, 40 responses. And this week's question was, she said, what? So that's in reference to the meanest thing your wife has ever said to you, but it ended up being changed to things that they had said to their wives and some way too serious things for the podcast, but we got some great responses. So I just wanted to share a couple with you guys. So to the answer to that question, Josh King says, she said to me, no sex for a month. So I guess that's a pretty mean thing for your wife to say to you.
Yeah.
Because sex makes the world go round, right?
Well, the only time I've heard that is whenever I'm at the hospital and my wife just had the baby, and the doctor looks at me and says, "No sex for a month," and I'm like, "We're all." Now that I just saw that birth, trust me, I didn't want sex for a month, because after you see that happen, you're like, "I'm all right with it.
I'm good.
I'm all right with it for a month."
Yeah, we're good. I'm done. Loot Junkie says the meanest thing his wife has ever said to him was, "I'm pregnant." So,
man.
I don't know how we elaborate on that one. That one seems pretty clear.
I have said I have gone I have a 2.5-year-old, as I've said many times, but my second child was a surprise kid, as you may say, and there was that like,
right,
oh no, feeling, my wife, she was so worried about, making sure we didn't push my son to grow up faster, by having another kid. And so there definitely was that worry, like, but I guess you get over it. You got a kid coming, you better turn around and change your mind. So
you better get ready. Great G-Man says he used to give his wife the choice. It's either her box or the Xbox. And he says, I play a lot of video games. I guess I might need to change my wording. So, yeah, that's a pretty good one. I thought that one was pretty cool. And I always, when I put the post up, I know there are some guys who may want to share, but don't want their name necessarily attached to it. So I always let people know they can private message me and they can remain anonymous. So we did get one of those this week, and it's a little bit longer, but it's pretty funny. And this one is actually coming from what he said to her. It says, "I am guilty for speaking without thinking." This one is, prepare yourself. He says when his wife was pregnant, he would say, "We need to grease the doorways, that way she could get through." And when they went swimming, he would tell her that she was the size of Shamu. And he says that that's not even the worst of them. He says the worst of it happened before they were married, and she was already pregnant. So on April 1st, he decided to propose to her, and she was already 7 months pregnant. And when she said yes, he said April Fools. He fake proposed to his wife. He fake proposed to his wife, and he said to this day, she will not let it go. They're still together today, so I guess it had a happy ending. And I guess that's the testament to love. If you can get away with calling your wife Shamu, greasing up doorways, and fake proposals, I guess love can make it through anything. So,
wow.
Yeah.
What about you, G Master? You ever said, or what is it that your wife says to you, perhaps when she gets angry with you?
She just looks at me like I'm a idiot. That's all it takes. I mean, she doesn't even waste her breath anymore. We've been married for about 10 years, and she's done with it. She just comes in, looks at me, and just walks away. And I know.
Well, my wife has 2 older brothers, so there's something that she always says, and it's basically she looks at me and she goes one of 2 things. It's either I'm going to hit you in your nuts, or she just simply says, because she always says this to her brothers when they make her mad, she goes, "You have a small wiener." That's what she says.
That's awful. That's awful.
Because she's guaranteed that there's really no comeback, right? So it's pretty harsh, man. My wife, she grew up, like I said, with 2 brothers, so she doesn't take any crap, man. She'll lay it down, and it can get pretty crazy. And dude, I have had this woman chase me around this house just trying to beat my butt, and it has it's been some fun times. But yeah, I mean, obviously she's my best friend. We've been married for almost 8 years, so. It's like Eugene Master. I think there's also those things that you don't even have to say, and it's like, all right, yep. So and I've had my rude moments though, where I've said some pretty harsh stuff. I think, and anybody that's been married, I think, probably has gone back and looked and gone like, why did I say that? I'm an idiot, And as my dad used to tell me, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And how true it is, even when you get married. You know what I mean? So. But,
completely unrealistic to expect that, though. I mean, we spend like just hours and hours and days with our spouses. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to say something stupid. It's going to piss you off. Just be mad and don't give me shit about it.
Right.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Like I said, I really was encouraged and love the fact that we got so many great responses. Make sure you guys keep checking that out because there was a real movement this week, and guys were very supportive of some other guys who had shared some serious posts on the same topic thread. So, yeah, the forums and our community, they're awesome.
Absolutely. Well, if you have a funny story, as always, that I say that you'd like to share with us, or something perhaps your wife said that was just hysterical, make sure you go ahead and shoot over to feedback.dod@gmail.com. And Nolxero, tell us a little bit about some of the feedback that we got this week.
Well, to start off, I mentioned last week that we're gonna reach out to Clue to get him to give us some wisdom, and he gave me an email back this week, and he said, first and foremost, have a clue as a request, not a statement. He said it might take you a second to figure that out. He goes, only a fool would accept the daunting task of imparting wisdom. I guess I'm your fool. Experience check, common sense check, knowledge. Well, I have some. I just pretend on the rest.
Nice.
I've been asked to share some of what I have learned along the way. Some life lessons are easy. A hamburger by any other name costs twice as much. Some come with a cost. Never leave a dirty diaper within reach while leaving the room to answer the phone. Some are... I laughed at that too. Some are more recent. Don't try to learn to run the raid for the first time with 5 teenage stoners. He said, I'm Clue, and I will do my best to share life lessons that will educate and hopefully entertain at the same time. So thank you very much, Clue. That is exactly what I was looking for. And I know we're kind of corresponding back and forth, so I'll leave the rest to the emails, but thank you very much, sir. The next one we have is from Adam, and it says, guys, keep it up with the beers on the podcast. Seriously, you guys were loose and putting yourselves out there. Previously trying a bit too hard here and there, but best one so far. And that was from Adam. And I really like that one. I know he kind of said that we were trying too hard or being put on our try hard.
I'm blaming that on Pope. Pope's a try hard, so I'm
He really
always
try hard.
Well, he really liked the upgrade to the beers.
Did you finish that Newcastle yet, Troy?
Almost, actually. Almost, I have.
All right. So that's at least 2.5% of alcohol in your system right now.
Yeah.
All right. So now here's another one from Sean Peabody, and his PSN ID is Decryptic Shadow. He says, first and foremost, I really enjoy the Bottles Up segment of the podcast. This segment allows me to learn about new craft beers and liquor to try out. So I'm glad we're stepping our game up since this guy's learning from us.
Hey, I'm learning as well, man. I'm right there with you. You ain't learning nothing from me. I'm learning from y'all.
He says, I recently tried a beer made by Stone Brewery in Escondido, California. This brewery is best known for their Arrogant Bastard Ale. However, you must try their Double Bastard Ale. This beer goes down so smooth and gives you a nice little buzz by the time you finish the pint-sized bottle.
Oh my goodness, I've had both and they're both incredible.
Well, there you go. So this guy's obviously not learning from us. Like
how much alcohol have you guys consumed in your lifetime, man? I mean, there has been so many suggestions, and you and Pope are just like, oh yeah, I've had that. Oh yeah, I mean, I've had that.
A malty beer that's just easy to drink, then yeah, Arrogant Bastard's right up your alley for sure.
Oh yeah, that's some good stuff. And like I said before, my brother, or maybe I didn't say it on air, my brother's a chef, so he's always trying to impress me with some new culinary thing. This beer goes with this food, and yada yada yada. So he's always bringing home something new for me to try. So yeah, I've had the pleasure. But that one came from a friend of mine. Best 7-Eleven beer I've ever had. I got it at 7-Eleven, by the way, for like less than $5, and it's on.
Like I say, bargain buy.
It's on point.
Ching, bargain buy. I'm gonna make a little sound bite that's just like every time you have a bargain buy, just ching ching.
Right there it is. That's your next bargain buy. Arrogant Bastard Ale is always cheap, and it is on point.
Oh, of course.
So another email we got was from a guy named Sam Glover. He kind of told us a little bit about. He had a long email, and Pope already referenced his beer selection. He went over basically never playing really MMOs before, and so Destiny's kind of his first foray into that. And then the thing I wanted to talk about was he says that he's a level 26, and he doesn't have a ton of time to play. He does know Hambone. Apparently, he plays with Hambone. And he was saying that he would like us to do more tips on PvP and PvE. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because me and Hambone were talking last night, and I already told Sam this in an email, but we are going to be doing tips on the YouTube, because I told him basically it's hard to describe certain tips in words only. Mm-hmm. So to sit here on the podcast, figure out how to explain it with words, and then find the time within the podcast to do it, it gets kind of tough. So what we're going to do is weekly, we're going to be putting tips over there on the YouTube. And, I committed to the PvP. I told him Hambone's going to be doing more of the PvE, and that together, hopefully this will be kind of what he's looking for. And I, asked him and everybody else I ask, as these videos come out, give us feedback, things, if there's tips out there that you want to know more about, there's questions in the game you want, let us know, and we'll make a tip video for it.
Absolutely.
Well, this week we got a ton of emails, like we said, guys. Tons of beer suggestions. We really appreciate that. One that I actually read this week that I want to reference is one from Bradley Wysong, and he gave us all our own suggestions. I don't know if all you guys got to read this, but I definitely think he figured it out, kind of where my taste is in this. He told me to try a Heffenheisen this week, and he said, yes, grab a lemon wedge. No, you don't lose your man card. So there you go, Pope. He said you don't lose your man card. G-Master, you will not lose your man card if you have a lemon wedge there with your beer. Okay, so no matter what you say, G Master, you won't. And then obviously he tells me to try out a Fat Tire, which man, it's been years since I've drank in a Fat Tire, but I definitely will. So, what do you have to say about that, G Master? You're against all things that go into beer?
Listen, I'm perfect. I absolutely agree that a Corona with a freaking lime has its place in the world. It does have its use, but other than that, if I want my alcohol served with fruit, I'm gonna order a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh my goodness!
You don't put fruit in a Sauvignon Blanc, Gary.
No, but I eat a cheese and fruit platter with it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's some high class stuff. I mean, you got some honey roasted peanuts for $1 over there or something. I don't know about this fruit and cheese and Sauvignon Blanc and all this nonsense. No.
Well, all I can say is like I said, I'm learning from you guys. So as we go along this, man, I'm taking the beer suggestions and learning from Pope and everybody else in the community when they shoot us over. So hey guys, continue to shoot your emails over, your suggestions. We really, really do appreciate it, and it makes for a fun section as well. So, well, guys, as always, thanks for listening. We hope you guys enjoy the show. Make sure you check us out on iTunes. Make sure you also check out the YouTube and Twitch channels that the Pope and Hambone and Nolxero have been working so hard on. And Pope, they can go catch your stuff on YouTube, right? If they miss you on Twitch, is that correct?
Absolutely. So we just about the next day or later that day, we will be uploading every live stream to the YouTube channel, so they'll be able to watch episodes of Bunny and the Bear, and we're looking at doing the weekly walkthroughs too. So we're on Tuesday night, we'll play the weeklies, and then we'll be uploading that how-to video basically at the end of that day.
Awesome. And if you guys need direct links to those YouTube and Twitch channels, you can find them at thedodpodcast.com. Don't forget, go grab your shirts, donate to become an official listener as well. Also, make sure you check out Guardian Radio Network for tons of other great podcasts and videos. You can follow us on Twitter at the DoD Podcast. You can follow me directly at TwoLoudtx, TWOLOUDTX. Nolxero at NOLXERO. POPEBEAR, Pope_Bear. Hambone at the Hambondini, HAMBODINI. And G Master, you got a Twitter over there?
No, but you can just say what's up on the game.
Say what up? All right, yeah. Jump in and play with G Master. What's your tag on PSN?
It's GMasta81.
Spell it for him.
GMASTA81.
GMasta.
GMasta81.
GMasta81. Well, guys, don't forget.
Fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and don't forget to visit dadsofdestiny.net, guys, and register on the new forums. Check out all the great stuff they got going over there as well. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Take care, polar bear.
And catch you next time, porcupine.
See you later. I didn't know you were going to me, dude.
That's the best, dude. No, that's the best
done.
way.